Why do so many people live frustrated, unfulfilled lives, even though they have eyes to see, ears to hear, and opportunities all around? The problem is not what they see, it's what they don't see. In this teaching, we'll uncover the missing ingredient in your life true vision, not the ability to look, but the power to see your destiny and live it. If you've ever felt lost, stuck, or uncertain about your future, this message is for you. Greetings, my friends. Today, I want to speak to your destiny, not your current condition. I want to talk to the real you, the person inside you that was created with purpose, filled with potential, and sent to this earth to fulfill a divine assignment. This message is titled The Power of Vision, Seeing Beyond What Eyes Can See. And if you lean in, listen closely, and open your spirit, I believe this could be the message that changes the trajectory of your life. You see, the greatest tragedy in life is not blindness. It's having eyes that work, but a life with no direction. Most people don't realize this, but there's a difference between seeing and having vision. You can look at something and still not truly see it. And I'm not just talking about natural things. I'm talking about your life, your future, your calling, your assignment. You can be wide awake and still walking in the dark. There are millions of people today who are going through life with open eyes, but no vision. They wake up every day and react to what they see. The bills, the job, the people around them. But they're not driven by what they can't see. And that's the danger, because real vision doesn't come from your eyes. Your eyes show you what is, but vision shows you what could be. Now I need you to hear this. What you're seeing right now in your life, the environment you live in, the people you work with, the circumstances you deal with, that is not the full story. In fact, what you're looking at may be a distraction from your destiny, because sight keeps you focused on the present, but vision pulls you into your future. Sight is based on facts, but vision is based on truth. And truth is not what you see around you, it's what God put inside you before the foundation of the world. Let me take you back to Genesis for a moment. When God created man, He formed the body from the dust of the ground. But then He did something powerful. He breathed into man, and man became a living soul. What does that mean? That means man was first formed from dirt. That's what the eyes can see. But life didn't begin until God put something unseen inside of him. That breath, that spirit is where vision lives. And I believe with all my heart that every human being was born with a vision. You didn't come here by accident. You weren't sent to earth to get a job, pay bills, and die. You were sent here with a purpose, and inside that purpose is a vision, a picture of your future planted in your spirit by God Himself. But here's the problem. Our society teaches us to trust our eyes more than our vision. We grow up being trained to respond to what we see. We judge people by appearance. We measure success by how things look. We make decisions based on visible evidence. But vision doesn't live in the realm of what's visible. It lives in the realm of faith. That's why Scripture tells us we'll walk by faith, not by sight. Faith is not just belief. It's the ability to see something before it becomes visible. It's the lens of vision. It's what gives you the power to say, I know where I am, but I also know where I'm going. That's what separates leaders from followers. Visionaries don't live by what they see. They live by what they know in their spirit. They might be in a desert, but they see a nation. They might be in prison, but they see a palace. They might be broke, but they see a business. They might be rejected, but they see a global ministry. They don't deny their reality. They just refuse to let reality define their identity. That's what makes vision so dangerous to the enemy. If the devil can blind your vision, he doesn't have to chain your hands. Because if you can't see who you are, you'll never reach where you're going. And let me tell you something. There's a reason you've been frustrated lately. It's not because of your job. It's not because of your circumstances. It's not even because of people. You're frustrated because your eyes and your vision are not in agreement. Your eyes see where you are, but your vision is crying out for where you're supposed to be. Your eyes see limitation, but your vision sees multiplication. Your eyes see problems, but your vision sees purpose. And when there's a conflict between the two, your spirit starts to groan. That groaning, that inner restlessness, it's the evidence that you were created for something greater than what your eyes are showing you. And you'll never be satisfied until your life begins to match your vision. That's why promotions don't fulfill you. That's why money doesn't settle your soul. That's why relationships, vacations, titles, and followers, none of it brings peace. Because your eyes may be full, but your vision is still hungry. And hear me, if all you live by is what you can see with your natural eyes, you'll be limited to your current condition. But vision gives you permission to live by what hasn't happened yet. It's the passport to the unseen. It's the blueprint of destiny. It's the whisper of God that says, there's more. Let me ask you this, what are your eyes telling you right now? What is your vision telling you? Because those two voices are not always the same. Your eyes may be saying, you're stuck. But your vision is saying, you're chosen. Your eyes may be saying, you don't have enough. But your vision is saying, you've already got everything you need inside you. Before you can understand vision, you have to understand purpose. Vision is not where you start. Vision is a byproduct. It is the manifestation of something deeper. And that deeper thing is purpose. Purpose comes first. Vision is born from it. You cannot see clearly where you are going until you know why you exist. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your life and felt like something is off? Like you're moving, but you're not progressing. Like you're achieving, but not fulfilling. That's the result of vision without purpose. You can set goals. You can build dreams. You can have a plan. But if it's not rooted in your purpose, it will eventually collapse. It will leave you exhausted, frustrated, and empty. Because when the foundation is wrong, the future will never feel right. Listen to me, God never gave vision to people without first giving them purpose. In fact, before He created you, He had already finished your assignment. He had a destination in mind before your life even began. That means you were born with a reason. You didn't just show up on earth. You were sent. You didn't just arrive in time. You were deployed from eternity. And because of that, purpose is not something you decide. Purpose is something you discover. You can't make it up. You can't manufacture it. It was established before you were formed. That's why Jeremiah said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. God was not guessing when He made you. He wasn't experimenting. He was fulfilling a design. Now here's the danger. If you don't know the purpose of a thing, you will abuse it. That applies to everything in life. If you don't know the purpose of money, if you don't know the purpose of relationships, you'll misuse them. If you don't know the purpose of time, you'll squander it. And if you don't know the purpose of your own life, you will spend years running in circles, working hard, chasing success, but never feeling fulfilled. That's why the world is full of talented people who are still empty, gifted people who are still confused, educated people who are still directionless, because purpose is the compass that gives life direction. And without it, vision has no foundation to stand on. Let me give you an example. Imagine a builder trying to construct a house without knowing what kind of building he's supposed to build. He's got tools. He's got workers. He's got materials. But he has no blueprint. That's what life looks like without purpose. You have potential, but no pattern. You have ambition, but no assignment. So you end up busy, but not effective, productive, but not fulfilled. That's why vision must come from purpose. Vision is the ability to see the future in line with your purpose. It's the picture that forms when your spirit comes into alignment with the reason you were created. Purpose gives birth to vision the way a seed gives birth to a tree. Without the seed, there is no tree. Without purpose, vision is just imagination. You see, imagination is general, but vision is specific. You can imagine many things, but vision is always tied to your assignment. Vision is focused. It is narrow. It is precise. It doesn't come from copying others. It comes from uncovering what God deposited inside of you. And until you go deep enough to discover that purpose, your vision will always be borrowed, vague, or unstable. And hear me, this is where many people get stuck, because we live in a world that teaches people to chase goals instead of discovering purpose. We've made success a formula instead of a revelation. So people spend their lives trying to do what looks good, what pays well, what pleases others, but none of it brings peace. Why? Because they are operating out of alignment with their original design. Purpose is what you were born to do. And vision is what that looks like when it's lived out. But you can't run with vision until you are anchored in purpose. If you skip that step, you will build something that God never intended. You'll climb the ladder of success only to find it was leaning against the wrong wall. And when the storm comes, and it always comes, what you built will crumble. Not because it wasn't big, but because it wasn't rooted. That's why people keep starting over. That's why people lose passion halfway through their careers. That's why some of the most successful people in the world are battling depression. Because vision without purpose is like a vehicle without fuel. It may look good, but it's going nowhere. Purpose is what sustains vision. It is the why behind the what. It's what gives your life depth, not just speed. And purpose doesn't change with trends. It doesn't shift with the seasons. It's eternal. It's what you were carrying before the world ever gave you a title. It's what was written in the books of heaven long before anyone ever knew your name. It's not about how much you do. It's about whether what you're doing is tied to who you are. So if you want real vision, the kind that wakes you up in the morning with fire in your bones, the kind that gives meaning to your pain and direction to your days, you've got to go back and ask the deeper question, not, what do I want to do? But why was I born? Because when you answer that question, vision will no longer be something you guess. It'll become something you carry. When a person catches a true vision, I'm not talking about a good idea or a motivational quote. I'm talking about a real internal picture of their God-given future. Everything in their life begins to change. You can always tell when someone has vision, not by what they say, but by how they live. Because vision doesn't just inspire you. Vision begins to discipline you. Discipline is not something that you beg for. Discipline is a natural result of vision. When you truly see where you're going, you stop wasting time. You stop chasing every opportunity. You stop trying to please everybody. You stop comparing your life to people who don't even know their own destination. Because vision brings clarity. And clarity brings control. Vision gives you permission to say no to things that don't fit where you're headed. It trims the fat off your life. It simplifies your schedule. It silences the noise. You stop trying to be everywhere because you know exactly where you're going. You don't need 10 plans when you have one vision. You don't need to prove anything to anyone when you've already seen what God showed you in the secret place. You don't waste energy on distractions because destiny demands your full attention. You see, a person without vision has to be pushed. They need to be motivated, pressured, reminded, begged. But a person with vision is self-governed. They wake up early, not because they have to, but because they can't afford not to. They prepare when no one's watching. They invest in themselves when no one's clapping. They study, they sacrifice, they grind. Not because of competition, but because they saw something. And that vision is now controlling their appetite, their circle, their time, their behavior, their words, their money, their mentality. This is why many people never see their full potential. Because they want the results of vision, but they don't want the restraints that come with it. They love the idea of destiny, but they don't love the discipline that destiny demands. Vision doesn't just show you what to do. It shows you what not to do. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your future is say no to what looks good now. Think about it when an Olympic athlete trains for the gold medal. They don't eat like everyone else. They don't sleep like everyone else. They don't party like everyone else. Why? Because their vision of the podium is dictating their present behavior. They're not living for today. They're living for what they've already seen in their future. And that future reality is shaping their current choices. And if that's true in the natural, how much more in the spiritual? When you have a vision from God, you stop living casually. You don't make random decisions. You don't just float through life hoping things work out. You move with precision, with intention, with focus. You're not wandering anymore. You've locked in. That's why people with vision often look strange to others. Because vision separates you. It isolates you. It makes you walk away from crowds. Sometimes even good crowds. Sometimes even familiar crowds. Because vision is not about comfort. It's about calling. And calling comes with a cost. You cannot carry something valuable and live like you have nothing to lose. Vision will check you. It will correct you. It will stretch you. But it will also prepare you. There are certain things God won't even give you until your life is in alignment with the vision He gave you. He's not going to bless disobedience. He's not going to pour purpose into chaos. You're asking God to open doors, but you haven't created the discipline to walk through them. Vision is God's way of protecting you from wasted years. It's a filter for your decisions. It's a system that organizes your potential and puts it under submission. And hear me, vision doesn't just give you goals. It gives you direction. You no longer drift. You drive. You don't experiment. You execute. You move forward with understanding. Because vision functions like a map. It may not show you every detail, but it gives you the route. And once you know the direction, you stop settling for detours. People who lack direction are always busy but never becoming. They're full of activity but void of progress. They're always tired but have nothing to show for it. Because movement without direction is just exhaustion. But when you have vision, even your waiting has purpose. Even your pain has purpose. Even your problems get repurposed. Because you know it's all connected to the picture you've seen on the inside. And let me tell you something. There is a quiet power that comes with knowing your direction. You're no longer shaken by every storm. You're not thrown off course by temporary failure. You're not intimidated by delay. You're not confused by other people's success. Because your direction is not based on what others are doing. It's based on what God showed you. And if He showed it to you, that means it's already finished in heaven. Your job is to walk it out on earth with discipline and direction. So when people ask you, why don't you go there anymore? Why don't you hang with them? Why are you so quiet now? Why did you delete that app? Why did you cancel that trip? Why do you work so hard? Why do you read so much? You don't have to explain everything. Just smile and say, I've seen something. Because once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And once vision gets a hold of you, nothing less than destiny will satisfy you. Everything God creates, He creates with the end already inside of it. God never begins until He has already finished. That's why the future of a thing is always trapped within the thing itself. A seed doesn't look like a tree, but the tree is already in the seed. It doesn't matter how small it is, how ordinary it looks, or how buried it may be. The full future of that seed is already programmed into its DNA. All it needs is the right environment, the right conditions, the right process. And what's hidden on the inside will come bursting forth into reality. And if that's how God created a seed, how much more did He design you? You were born carrying something the world has never seen before. You came to earth not just to exist, but to manifest. Your future is not ahead of you. It's within you. Your destiny is not something you chase. It's something you release. The Creator doesn't hide your future in the stars or in the sky or in someone else's opinion. He hid it inside you so that no one else could control it, steal it, or stop it. But here's the issue. Most people spend their entire lives looking outside for what God placed inside. They look for approval. They look for validation. They wait for someone to choose them, to notice them, to recognize them. They wait for a breakthrough to fall out of the sky, not realizing that heaven already deposited greatness inside them before they were ever born. You're not waiting on a miracle. You are the miracle. You're not waiting for purpose. You've already been packed with everything required to fulfill it. That's why vision is so powerful. Because vision is the process of discovering what's already in you. Vision is the act of seeing with your spirit what hasn't yet materialized in the natural world. It's not something you invent, it's something you uncover. It's a photograph of your potential. It's a snapshot of what your future could look like when your internal blueprint is manifested in the physical world. When you get a true vision from God, you're not creating something out of nothing. You're simply aligning with what has been inside you since before time began. Your gifts, your passions, your burdens, your abilities. None of those things are random. They are clues to the treasure buried inside of you. They are hints from heaven about the assignment you were born to complete. And that's why you must stop measuring yourself by what you see on the outside. Don't define your future by your current situation. Don't limit your destiny to your bank account. Don't downgrade your calling because of your upbringing. It doesn't matter what environment you were born into. You were sent here with something bigger than your surroundings. Your source is not your background, it's your blueprint. God didn't send you here empty. He sent you here loaded. He pre-wired your spirit with purpose, and then He wrapped it in your body and released you into time. But here's the challenge. Your future is trapped in potential, and potential means unreleased power. It means unused strength. It means dormant ability. You can carry something powerful and still die full if you never release what's inside of you. That's why the richest place on earth is not the oil fields of the Middle East. It's not the diamond mines of South Africa. It's not the tech companies in Silicon Valley. The richest place on earth is the graveyard, because it's filled with people who never unlocked what they carried. Songs that were never sung. Businesses that were never started. Messages that were never preached. Solutions that were never released. Why? Because they never tapped into the vision that could expose what was hidden within them. They lived by sight instead of purpose. They followed culture instead of calling. They were trained to exist, but never taught how to unlock destiny. And I came to tell you, you are not too young, too old, too late, or too broken. It doesn't matter how far behind you feel. As long as you have breath in your body, the future that God placed inside of you is still waiting to be born. You don't need to look around for the answer. The answer is already in your hands, your head, your heart. You just have to recognize it. You have to dig it out. You have to speak it, write it, move toward it. And the more you move in faith, the more that vision will begin to draw out the future that's been sitting dormant in your spirit. That's why frustration can be a gift. That's why pain can be a trigger. That's why you feel restless sometimes. Because your spirit knows there's more inside you. You can feel the weight of the future pressing against the walls of your comfort. You can sense the calling whispering to you in the quiet moments. You're not going crazy. You're just carrying something that refuses to die unnoticed. You're not unqualified. You're just pregnant with a vision that hasn't been delivered yet. And labor always comes before birth. And the longer you sit on what's inside of you, the heavier life becomes. That's why some of you feel stuck. Not because you lack opportunity, but because you're carrying potential that's suffocating without movement. The solution is not out there. It's in activating the vision that unlocks what's been buried under fear, doubt, excuses, and distractions. You've been praying for a breakthrough, but what you really need is a breaking open. You've been asking God to send you something, but He's been asking you to release what He already gave you. Now you've heard it, vision is not about what you see with your natural eyes. It's about what you discern with your spirit. Sight shows you your current situation, but vision reveals your divine destination. And if you don't get this, you will live your life reacting to circumstances rather than moving with kingdom conviction. Your eyes were never designed to lead you. They are followers. Vision is the navigator. Vision is the internal compass that guides your decisions, governs your discipline, and ignites your direction. But vision cannot exist without purpose. And purpose is not a career, not a job, not a title. It's the reason for your existence. It's the why behind your breath. And when you discover that purpose, vision will begin to speak. It will begin to form. It will begin to demand more from you. Because vision always calls you up and out of comfort. It requires sacrifice. It requires structure. It requires that you say no to what's easy and yes to what's eternal. That's why vision dictates discipline. You won't need motivation when you've seen your future. You'll move differently. Think differently. Choose something different. You'll stop living for likes and start living for legacy. You'll stop wasting time because you'll realize time is the currency of vision. And when you have direction, you stop dancing with distractions. But hear me. This vision you carry, this purpose you were born with, it's not out there waiting for you to find it. It's already in you. God hid your future inside your spirit. He packaged it in your potential. You are not chasing destiny, you are carrying it. You are not waiting for a sign, you are the sign. The future is not something you walk into. It's something you unlock. And that is the power of vision. Because when you begin to see beyond what eyes can see, you stop surviving and start building. You stop wandering and start becoming. You stop asking for permission and start walking in authority. You don't live by reaction. You live by revelation. You don't bow to what's visible. You obey what's eternal. So I challenge you today, don't die with your vision still trapped inside you. Don't go to the grave full. Don't let sight steal from you what vision was meant to deliver. Dig deep. Press in. Seek God. Ask the hard questions. Write the vision. Make it plain. Then run with it. Because your future is not ahead of you. It's already within you. You were born with vision. You were born for purpose. You were born to lead. and you were born to finish. This is the hour to see what eyes cannot see, and to become what only heaven knew you could be.